Hi, this is Odast and welcome to my channel. Today we have an interesting product. It is a Netgear 10 gigabit, that's right, 10 gigabit Ethernet switch. The model is XS708E, and today we're going to unbox it and we'll discuss a little bit about why I got this and why it makes sense for me, and it may or may not make sense for you. So let's start with the unboxing so we can get that out of the way, and then we can also discuss as we go. So once again, what's the big deal about 10 gigabit? As you can see, when you look at the material inside, you get a Netgear piece of software that you can install, which we will later, and I will show you the screens for that. You get a start guide in English for connecting the equipment. As you can see, it's pretty straightforward, and it is really quite easy. So the key here on the ports, you can see you've got a power light on and off, you've got a fan failure light on and off, you have a 10 gigabit link, you also have a 1 gigabit link. 10 is green and yellow is the 1. It's pretty straightforward, and you can see the specifications. The other nice thing about this product, it has a lifetime warranty and some amazing replacement advice. It also, the manuals come in different languages, and you have a huge piece of propaganda that tells you about every single Netgear switch that is out there. So, for whatever that's worth. Let's fold this stuff away and get to the switch itself. You open up the box, and this is not a light product. You can see it comes very well wrapped. You can see that this is an 8-port switch. It also does have an octal port, and it makes it very clear that if you're using that, you're going to eat up port 8. So that is something to be aware of. Turning to the side, you can see that it's got a decent amount of grill space for ventilation, and we'll get to that in a minute. Power supply, hookups, and fan intakes. So pretty standard stuff. The other thing to be aware of, it's large. For an 8-port switch, it's really large. But once again, you're talking about 10 gigabits. So let's finish the unboxing to show what else is included. It also includes different power supplies. I believe that's the UK. Good old US. Sorry, that's Europe. This is the UK. So you're pretty well powered on whatever you'd like. You can also see it gives you feet, and it gives you mounting. This is a U1 case, so it should fit into a rack mount pretty easily. So let's talk a little bit about this product. And so, what are we doing with this product? Why did we buy it? So the first answer is very simple. I needed a switch. Second answer is I don't need a 20-port switch or some other ridiculous level of numbers because I'm using this in my house. 10 gigabits is overkill for a house. The only reason you're ever going to use this in a house is if you're storing large amounts of data. Part of what I will be doing is building a very large 36 terabyte NAS storage device. Probably not NAS, but it will be a mass storage device to allow access to everything in the universe, plus backing up some of the work that I have from the law firm. So that's one reason. The second reason is I'm a gamer. Latency is a big issue in gaming. This switch, combined with the cable modem that I recently did a video on, and you can find information on that video below, will significantly decrease my lag. I can bundle several of these channels, i.e. at least 2, to get 20 gigabit channels up to my gaming system that we're going to build. That should radically decrease any bottleneck associated with the network. The bottleneck then is really going to be associated with my internet speed, which we just upped to 100 gigabits. So that should help a lot with regard to latency. Also, if you really think about it, this device allows you the ability to move the data from a disk every second. Okay, so from an optical disk. That is ridiculous with regard to the amount of capability it has. So it will be overkill, but that's fine because the price points of this device has actually come down to something a lot more reasonable, and I really did want to try it out. So that's part of what I want to do. So does it make sense for other people? Well, it depends. First thing to ask is, do you have Cat 6 in your house? So that's copper wire run in your house, and most people, if they have copper, it's going to be Cat 5. If you don't, you've got a problem, because you may be far enough away from your switch that you're not going to get 100 gigabits. So that's number one. So once again, the question is, if you're wired with Cat 6, you have the possibility of using this switch. Otherwise, you really need to think about its value. This switch is a very basic switch. It does not provide power over Ethernet. I think it does provide quality of service, which is important if you're gaming and you want to consider that. Once again, I will do a separate video on the interface to be able to show that later. Let me know by commenting below whether you'd like to see that or whether that's just overkill. One other thing to consider in this purchase is this right for you? So we've already talked about the first question of wiring. The next question is going to be, what are you using it for? Do you have a major amount of data that you're moving around between computers? If the answer is no, this is extreme overkill and it's going to serve no purpose. Are you a serious gamer? And if you're a serious gamer, does your rig have 10 gigabit Ethernet switches on the gamer? If it doesn't, well, you really need to consider its value. So, if you're a gamer, you need to think about whether or not you have that capability. The other thing to look at is file storage. Do you have large video files that you want to move around and share? If that's the case, this may be of value so long as, once again, you've wired your house. Of course, this will work in a wireless system, but it's not designed for that because it's designed for a Cat 5, Cat 6 system. Hopefully this information has been helpful. Odast out.